Okay, so here we have the JM from Oak Club. And let me say this real quick. I don't have an affiliation with Oak Club, okay? MWPIG5 absolutely saves 5% at Prime Fitness, but it will not save you shit at Oak Club. So, for those who may not be familiar with Oak Club, they're kind of a boutique, made to order, or I think bespoke may be the word. I don't know. They're a gym equipment company. They're based out of Canada, and they make some really cool shit. It's expensive, but super cool. And aside from everything being handmade and their kind of unique industrial styling, one of the things that I really like about Oak Club is how most of their products just look different from everything else on the market. I mean, yes, within the last year or two, there have been some others who have clearly borrowed some design elements from Oak Club, but overall, they're one of the few companies where you can just see one of their items and immediately recognize it as an Oak Club product, even if you were to hide all the cool branding that they tend to use. I kind of think of them as one of those companies that mostly makes things for people who just want something that others don't have, but at the same time, they don't really follow whatever the latest trend may be. Heavy mugs. Like the JM, for example. It's basically a single post mounted pair of J cups, or it's like having a pair of J cups that you could mount on a single post. And it allows you to rack or load or unload a barbell that's about 29 millimeters in diameter that would otherwise be too short to use with the traditional rack and J-cup setup. Think of like a standard easy curl bar or one of those 5-foot shorty barbells or whatever, something along those lines. Anyway, the first time I saw this thing was when it was posted to a Facebook group that I sometimes can't help but log into, even though I absolutely hate it there. Anyway, it was a niche. It was an idea that another community member sent to them as kind of a custom one-off, and Oak Club ultimately made it into a production item. It's pretty cool, and I will admit I was a little bit disappointed when I first saw the final product, and for a couple of reasons. But among those were probably the most valid would be the fixed width of the frame, and then also this bar that goes right across the front here. Okay, so the frame width is 9 inches or 9 1/8 of an inch, including the UHMW. That's wide enough that when you rack a curl bar, like the one that I have from Rogue, you won't have access to the narrow grip without having to kind of finagle your way around the J-cup thing and reposition your hands and so on and so forth. Not that that's the worst thing in the world, but I guess it's a fair trade-off for the stability in the J-cup and for not being forced to use the floor or one of those horrendous and ridiculously long rackable curl bars that, in my opinion, just don't feel as balanced or as tight as a standard curl bar. Anyway, I'm sure that it would add more of the cost and probably price this thing well beyond its actual value, but I think it would be pretty cool to see some sort of adjustability in the width to accommodate stuff like that if it was possible. But aside from that, the thing that really stopped me from ordering it right away, as I mentioned earlier, is this bar that runs across the front. Now, I'm sure that it serves some sort of a purpose. Maybe it's structural, maybe it's a handle, or maybe they just thought it looked cool. I really don't know. But it absolutely interferes with my ability to use it with my cable attachments. I know, you're probably wondering why anyone would ever want to rack a cable attachment, and that's probably fair, but it doesn't matter, okay? I find myself in situations where I just don't want my cable curl bar dangling around, or I don't want to have to pick up my prime handles or whatever off the floor when I'm using them with my bulldog pad, for example. I'm just saying it would be nice if I could use something like this for that purpose. So, as much as I really do like the way this thing looks, and I do find it to be pretty useful as a handle, I really can't imagine that chopping this motherfucker off would compromise the structural integrity of the 1/4 inch bent and welded steel that this entire thing is made of. So, that's what I'm going to do. And there you have it. It's nice and open so the cable can pass through. I can still use it with my standard curl bar. I can use it with my Silro bar. And now, like I said, I could use it with the cable attached bars as well. Now, this is what I imagine was probably the kind of untethered access that Frank the Tank was looking to gain when he took the restrictor plate off the Red Dragon in the movie Old School, which, okay, the irony is not lost on me here. I just referenced a movie that is now probably 20 years old, whatever. I don't know. Anyway, so that's the JM from Oak Club in a nutshell. Again, no affiliation or anything like that, Just wanted to share my experience with this really cool accessory for those who maybe haven't seen it up close or in action, or maybe who just want to get the most out of their bulldog style chest pad, or maybe those who just can't imagine spending money on the convenience of not having to load or unload your curl bar from the floor. Whatever the reason, let me know what questions you may have in the comments. You can also check in the description below to find a discount code that only works at Prime Fitness, MWPIG5, because even though Prime has absolutely nothing to do with Oak Club, I only get so many opportunities to cram my discount code down your throat. And with that said, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, print it out, hang it on the fridge, whatever you do with these things.